Letters to Tomorrow. I found the letter in her sock drawer, wedged between a faded Polaroid of us at the beach and a pair of mittens she never wore. At first, I didn't recognize the handwriting. It was hers, elegant and looping, but it felt older somehow, more deliberate. The envelope was unsealed, as if it had been read and reread 100 times. To you, 1 year ago. My stomach dropped. For the past few months, I'd suspected Sophie of cheating. She'd been distant, distracted, late-night walks, locked drawers, a guilty look whenever I walked into the room too quietly. It all pointed somewhere awful. But now, this? I unfolded the letter with trembling fingers. My love, I know how this must feel reading this. The confusion, the fear. You're wondering what's happening to us, why I've been writing these letters and hiding them like secrets. I'm sorry for that, but I promise, it's not what you think. You're about to make a decision, one that will hurt both of us, deeply. I'm writing from a place where that decision has already been made, and I would give anything to change it. I read the letter 3 times before I realized I wasn't breathing. She wasn't cheating. She was warning me. Over the next few weeks, I became obsessed. Every drawer, every book, every pocket in the apartment, until I found 5 more letters, each dated, each addressed to you, with increasingly urgent tones. They referenced things I hadn't even told her, like the meeting I missed because I overslept, or the woman who smiled at me at the coffee shop and made me feel noticed again. Things that had just happened. One letter mentioned a thunderstorm that hadn't happened yet. That night, it poured. Sophie said she'd been dreaming of the future, waking up with memories that didn't belong to her, memories of us breaking apart, of things she couldn't undo. So she started writing them down, hoping some part of herself from the past would find them, or maybe hoping I would. The 6th letter was the hardest to read. It happens tomorrow. You'll be sitting on the balcony drinking that awful canned sangria you think I don't know about. You'll be tired, resentful. You'll think I'm hiding something again. I'll come home late, drenched from the rain, and you'll ask me why. I won't answer fast enough. That's when you'll say it. I don't trust you anymore. Don't say it, love. Please, don't let that be the last thing between us. June 17th. Tomorrow. I barely slept. My hands shook when I opened the fridge that morning. Everything I did, I second-guessed. I waited all day for the sangria moment, for the exact sequence of events to unfold so I could stop it. When she finally came home, wet hair clinging to her cheeks flushed from running up the stairs, I stood up too fast, knocking over the drink I wasn't supposed to have. She looked at me. I looked at her. The air was full of something too heavy to move through. "You're home late," I said. A pause. "I had to finish something," she said. Another pause. Not the right answer, not the right words. I could feel it building in my throat. The accusation, the pain, the fear. I could see the entire world in a single sentence that wanted to come out. But I stopped. I looked at her. Really looked. She was scared too. Instead, I walked to her. I took her hand. I pulled something from my back pocket. A letter. To you, 1 year from now. "Your turn," I whispered. She opened it, read, and cried. We stood there, quiet and trembling. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. That night, I asked her to marry me, not because I had to, because in 100 futures, I knew this was the only one that felt like home. Echoes of tomorrow. The ring fit perfectly on her finger, like it had always belonged there. We didn't call anyone, didn't post it. The world stayed outside while we laid under blankets, fingers interlaced, hearts pounding with the weight of everything unsaid. For a moment, it felt like we'd outsmarted fate. But the letters didn't stop. The morning after the proposal, I found another one on the kitchen counter. To you, 1 day after. My hands shook as I unfolded it, though I already knew the handwriting. You did it. You changed it. I don't know how. But something's different now. The moment, the fight, it didn't happen, and the timeline shifted. But there's more. This was never just about us falling apart. There's something else coming, something bigger. You'll see it soon. Watch for the signs. Love, me. Something bigger. That same afternoon, Sophie started getting migraines, sharp, sudden ones that made her cry out mid-sentence. And then, something stranger. She began speaking in her sleep, not mumbling. Speaking, clearly. Names we didn't know, places we hadn't been, words like collapse point and thread fracture. I recorded one of them. When I played it back, she didn't remember saying a word. 3 nights later, I woke to find her standing on the balcony in her robe, barefoot, staring at the streetlights like they were constellations. In her hand was another letter. She didn't turn when I called her name, just whispered, "They're not just from me." That morning, over tea and silence, she told me everything. The dreams had started a year ago, not just premonitions, but memories that didn't belong to her. Some tragic, some beautiful, all with one constant, me. In every version of her dreams, we ended the same way, apart or worse. That's when she began writing letters. At first they were just journaling, but then they started responding. A day after she wrote them, they'd be slightly different. New sentences, different dates. One time, a letter changed while she held it in her hand. "I think," she said softly, "they're not just from the future. I think they're from other versions of me, ones that lived it differently. And they're trying to help us, help you," she paused, "or warn you." We started cataloguing the letters. Dates, phrases, details. Patterns emerged, numbers repeated, like coordinates or codes. Certain days circled. One phrase appeared 3 times, in 3 different letters, always underlined. "It ends on October 19th, unless you stop it." That was 4 months from now. We didn't know what it was, but the next letter we found didn't talk about us at all. "To whoever finds this letter, I'm sorry. I failed. He doesn't remember anymore." The rupture closed before I could send the final message. The last letter was lost in transit. If you're reading this, the timeline's bleeding. You'll know the signs. Power outages, clocks resetting, people dreaming things that haven't happened yet. There's still a chance. Find the artifact, burn the blue letter. Don't trust the man in the green coat. He's not from here. Whatever happens, don't let October 19th come. Sophie, version 7. My chest tightened. The letter was dated next year. The words artifact, bleeding, version 7, none of it made sense. Until later that night, when I saw the man in the green coat, standing across the street, watching our window, and smiling. To be continued. The man in the green coat. The first time I saw him, I thought he was just a stranger waiting for a cab, standing by the street lamp in that old-fashioned green trench coat, hat low, unmoving. The second time, I realized he was waiting for me. Same spot, same coat, same eerie stillness. I blinked. He was gone. We stopped sleeping. Every letter we found pulled us deeper into something bigger, something neither of us had words for. The dreams intensified. Sophie started drawing in her sleep. Half-awake sketches in the margins of napkins and envelopes. Strange symbols, diagrams, maps that didn't belong to any place on Earth. One of them was a circle split by 3 jagged lines. Beneath it, in her own hand, the words, "Collapse point, on Dokuzon." "I think we're part of something else," she said one night. "Something layered, like there's a world beneath this one, and it's starting to bleed through." I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to pretend we were just a couple caught in a weird, beautiful mystery. But then the lights started flickering, and the clock started jumping back. The artifact. The next letter we found was hidden behind a photo frame, one we'd never opened, dated from 5 years in the future and addressed not to me, but to Sophie. If you're reading this, you found the crack. Good. The letters were never just memories. They're messages between timelines, instructions, fail-safes. The others tried to stop it. Version 2 warned too early. Version 5 burned the wrong object. You're version 8. This is the closest we've come. The artifact is real. We buried it. You'll find it under the sycamore tree in the old park, the one where he kissed you first. You have until October 19th to retrieve it, or everything resets. Again, don't tell him yet. If he remembers too early, they'll find you both. And this time, they'll end it for good. Sophie said nothing, just stood, staring at the letter like it was a ghost. She whispered, "We kissed under that tree." On our 3rd date. The next morning we went. It had rained. The soil was soft. We dug with our bare hands until Sophie's fingers hit something hard. A tin box, rusted shut. Inside, a stone. Perfectly smooth, black as obsidian, humming faintly in our hands like it had a heartbeat. Attached to it, a single note. "This stone does not exist in your reality. It is the tether. Break it, and you break the loop." We didn't know what that meant, but as soon as Sophie touched it fully, she screamed and collapsed. The flash. She was unconscious for 3 minutes. When she woke, her eyes were full of tears and memories of lives she hadn't lived, roads not taken, tragedies that had almost happened but didn't because of a word said differently, a step taken sooner, and in all of them, the man in the green coat was there, watching, intervening. "He's not from a future. He's from outside of time," she whispered. "He's trying to keep the loop going. He feeds off it. Every heartbreak, every reset, it keeps him alive." That night, we received a final letter, but it wasn't written in Sophie's hand. "To the boy who can still choose. You weren't supposed to get this far. You think you're breaking free, but all roads lead back here. You and Sophie were always meant to loop, love, fall, fracture, reset. The loop is stable, predictable, controlled. She's glitching. Don't let her touch the artifact again. Burn the stone. Let her forget, and you'll get your happy ending. Ignore this, and you won't get another letter." G. I folded the letter and held it over the stove flame, then changed my mind. As I turned off the burner, a knock came at the door. We both froze. 3 slow knocks, rhythmic, deliberate. Through the peephole, the man in the green coat, smiling, waiting. To be continued. The choice. The man in the green coat stood outside our door for 13 minutes. He never knocked again, never spoke, just stood, patient like he'd done this before, like he knew how it ended. We didn't answer. When he finally walked away, Sophie turned to me. "It's happening, isn't it?" I didn't respond. My hands were still wrapped around the stone, now cold, like it had gone dormant. That night, Sophie had a dream, but this time I was in it too. We stood in a version of our apartment, but everything was off. Slightly wrong angles. No reflections in the mirror, no sound, just her voice. There's only one loop left. One of us breaks it, the other forgets. I reached for her, but she vanished, and I woke up choking on the words she never said. At dawn, we went to the rooftop, where she always went when she needed clarity. She held the stone in both hands like it was a heartbeat. I could see it pulsing under her skin now, like it wanted to be broken. She turned to me. Her eyes weren't afraid anymore. I remember everything. All the versions of us, all the endings, every goodbye. I nodded, eyes stinging. "I have a theory," she continued. "If we break the stone, time fractures completely. The loop ends. But one of us will be erased from the cycle, like we never existed in the others." I already knew which one she meant. "No," I whispered. "We do it together. We jump or we don't." She smiled gently. "We already tried that," she said. "In version 4, it didn't work." She stepped closer, slid something into my coat pocket, another letter, sealed. "Don't open it until October 19th, she said. "If we succeed, you won't remember me. But maybe the letter will." I opened my mouth to protest, but she reached up and kissed me, softly, completely. "I love you," she whispered, "across every version, even the ones we never met." And before I could stop her, she lifted the stone and smashed it against the rooftop edge. It didn't shatter, it exploded. In silence. A wave of blue light tore through the sky, swallowing buildings, air, time, everything. And then darkness. I woke up on a park bench, alone. No Sophie, no memory of how I got there. Just a letter in my coat. To you, from someone you once saved. Open on October 19th. I don't know who she was, but every night since, I dream of a girl with wind in her hair and stars in her voice, and I think I loved her.